Hello there. My name is Steve Mattis. I'm with Actual Infinity. I believe in love and business going together, and I support small business owners who are neurodivergent, highly sensitive, and who likely have past trauma to manage their business and have the support in their business that honors and respects all the chaos that comes with those things, the neurodivergence and the high sensitivity and the past trauma, so that your business can move forward and grow in a way that is mindful of and thoughtful of and respectful of the challenges that come with those things, so that we're not working against our system and what's alive in us, but working with it to move forward. Today, I want to talk about what most people consider productivity. A productivity system, getting things done. In my experience, as a highly sensitive neurodivergent person with past trauma, productivity feels almost violent to me because it ignores my humanity. It ignores parts of me that are very much alive and encourages me to move past those things, to push beyond those things, to push them to the side and to keep going, to get it done, to do more. And that doesn't work for me. My sensitivity, my neurodivergence, or my trauma. In fact, it inflames all of it, which is counterproductive, oddly enough. So one of the tools and words and concepts that I like that works better for me is supportivity. What is supportive for me so that I can do what I need to do, so that I can run my business, so that I can record videos like this and write the content that I write and support my clients, and to support my online group, The Village. It's important. In today's world, unfortunately, in the system, in order to survive, we have to get things done. I want to talk about how do we get things done in a way that supports us, that works with us instead of against us. When I think about my neurodivergence and my sensitivity and my trauma and getting things done, I think about several things that are really important to me as I move forward. There's like 4 core principles that I use when I think about having a productivity, supportivity system that will work for me. With my ADHD, if I can't see something, I forget about that something. So one of the core principles is that out of sight, out of mind. So I need to be able to see the things that I'm working on pretty readily. And if they're not all right in front of me, at least I have a pathway to them so that I don't forget about them. So being able to see it. And yet at the same time, if I try to keep everything in front of me, that's going to be a lot of clutter. So the second principle is simplicity. I want to be able to see everything or have access to everything without it being chaotic. I want it to be simple, which is principle number 2. The third principle, oddly enough for me, in order to make something work for me, is beauty. Something needs to be pretty. I like it to look pretty, to have color, to have some pizzazz to it, right? Because if I don't enjoy engaging in it, if I don't enjoy looking at it, I lose interest. So I like it to be pretty. That's point number 3. And the fourth one is this. I have what's called pervasive demand avoidance. I'm not going to get deep into it right now, but what it means is that really simple things that feel like a demand that most people just kind of do, even though they may not like it. For me, I spend an enormous amount of energy every day to do the simple things that everybody has to do every day, but I avoid it like crazy. And so when I have a to-do list or a system to keep me productive, right? I'm not meaning to keep doing the finger quote thing, but you know what I mean. When I have systems in place, after I use them for a while, If they are not right for my system, for my body, for my sensitivity, my trauma responses, I will begin to avoid them. And then they're not working for me. So that's one of the ways that I can tell if a system works. And so the principle number 4 is that I will switch tools pretty quickly. I will switch systems pretty quickly if I begin to feel that pervasive demand avoidance coming up, if I start to avoid it. And so I am willing to be flexible in how I use my systems. And in some of my systems, I have a couple different tools or different ways to accomplish the same thing so that I can just switch it up so it's a little bit fresh. So I don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time. I can just go like, you know what, I don't like this system anymore. This system sucks now. Often it doesn't suck, it's just my PDA. And then I'll switch to my other system and I'll be like, you know what, I can use this system for a while and it's different and it's novel and I tweak it a little bit and it works for me for a while until I get tired of that one. Then I'll come back to this other system and I'll tweak that again, maybe change the beauty factor of it, right? All of these things I have learned over time as to how to support me in my sensitivity, neurodivergence, and past trauma, so that I can develop a supportivity system that really works. I'd like to share that system with you today. When I first started this system, this was well over a year ago, it would take me over an hour every day, and I did it every day. And that's not sustainable for me. I should have known that, but I didn't. We learn the hard way sometimes, right? Totally not sustainable for me. And so I kept tweaking it over time, and it's gotten better and better and better. And as usual, I went completely away from it for a while because it still wasn't quite right for me and was using a different system. And now I have been back with it, and it's been working beautifully. It ticks all the boxes, all those principles that I shared earlier, those 4 principles. And it takes me about 5 minutes every morning, and it keeps me on point each day and every week. And it's super helpful. I can use it as extensively or as minimally as I want to. It's very flexible, and it really helps to move me forward. So I wanted to share that with you today, not because it's the right decision or it's the right choice for you, but it might inspire you to think about your supportivity system in a different way. Is it really working for you? Is it checking the boxes of your principles that you need to function? And if not, how can you create something like I have that might meet your needs better? So let's get into it. I'm really excited to share my supportivity system. Here's what it looks like. I'm not going to get into all the details about Notion. Notion is the tool that I'm using here. If you would like to explore it, you're welcome to. And a link for that will be below or somewhere around here. This is my main dashboard. This is the page. I have this up in my browser every minute of every day. It's what guides me because everything for my life and business is here in Notion. So I'm not going to get into all the specific details about what all of this stuff means. Just know that the way I work, meaning is really important to me. And so if I'm going to do something, if it's going to move me forward to help support me in being productive, it needs to have meaning. That's another one of the principles that I use. And so every word here has meaning. The symbol, the little icon on the upper left, has meaning to me, right? My name, Prince Majid Madness, PhD, all of that has meaning. You'll see a reference to Prince back there. At the top here, we have my menu, my table of contents, as you will. I've got 4 main sections for my structure. And that's my business, Actual Infinity, my online group, The Village, my personal stuff, and my spiritual stuff. And then I have a database for notes where that's a quick place I can just put stuff in, and then I can categorize that later. All of these other things are links to other pages in my Notion system where I store things. And let's get into the actual supportivity system. I've got 2 sections, today and this week. Let's open up today. So for today, this is what it looks like at the beginning of my week. The only thing that's really showing up here is my spiritual practice, which has a divine quality for the day. This changes on a daily basis, and there are 99 different divine qualities, and I do a meditation and chanting practice with each of them, one a day. And so approximately 3.5 times a year, I'll get through all the qualities. And so I get to kind of touch on all of it. I love this system because it's new every day. I never know what it's going to be. And it seems to present exactly what I need in the moment. So to start my work for today, I'll just click this plus new day. That will bring up for me my basic structure. For some reason, there it is. That one took a minute to load. So this is simple. It's pretty. I like the colors. That matters to me. I divide my life up into 3 sections: energy, work, and love. I've got my values across the top. There's 7 of them. That is simply to remind me this is what I'm all about. This is how I want to do my work. And as I am listing things, I'm always seeing those and I'm always reading those. I'm always thinking about them because they are in front of me. But they don't take up a lot of time and they're pretty. I love this gradient from yellow to purple to pink and red. It draws me in. It's fun to look at for me. It is pleasing to my senses. So the first thing I do every day when I create a new system like this is I will go through, what do I want to do for energy? Usually I'm a big fan of juicing vegetables. And then I can just put like yoga in there. For my work, I have the opportunity to remember, identify my big rock. What's the big project I'm working on? And right now, that is my contribution strategy. It's hard for me to type and talk and record a video all at the same time. So then I can record my to-dos. The item in red here is like the task that I want to get done that day. And it connects with the big rock. That's why it's in red. It's important. It's the task that if I get that task done, I can kind of mark the day as successful. Then I can list any other items that I have for other to-dos down below. For love, this is typically for me a list of people that I want to contact that day. And I can list as many of those as I want. And then when I'm done, I can check all these things off the list. Pretty simple. Now, I also have access if sometimes, and this happens because of my neurodivergent sometimes, like I lose connection with what can I do besides juicing and yoga to bring me energy. And I've got a list of tools here. I can nourish myself. How could I nourish myself? How can I move? Spiritual practice, something with polyvagal theory, art, music, singing, nature, sleeping, sun, right? All sorts of different things just to kind of spark my imagination. For work, this section here is the list of my clients that I have. And under here, under love, is a list of the folks that I consider my family, my chosen family. And sometimes I like just to reference that list because I have a lot of people that I like to stay in close contact with. And because of my neurodivergence, if they're not in front of me, I can sometimes lose track of them. And so this is just a little tool that supports me in making sure that I don't drop the ball connecting with people that matter to me. I still drop the ball all the time and I mess up, and I apologize if that's you. Below that, to the right of my spiritual practice, I have another new section here. This is a place for me to list affirmations and gratitudes. If I need more gratitudes, I can click this button and it will type in this symbol. That's an Arabic symbol for Allah. And TY4 is thank you for. So my ability to be gracious and express gratitude and appreciation to the greater reality beyond me for what I'm experiencing in my life. And that's what I have for the day. So at the end of the day, what I'll do is I will simply take this, I will highlight all of this and hit delete. And at the end of the week, I will simply delete all of that and I'm ready to start new. I can click new day and these things will come right back. It works brilliantly. And if I'm having a day with really high sensitivity, I can hide this and only use the menu at the top, and I don't get overwhelmed by all the stuff. It's easy to hide. It's easy to put out of the way if I'm being overstimulated. Let's look at this week. For this week, I've got a list of my big projects that I'm working on in my business down here. That just keeps it really easy. And I can click on any of these and they'll just open up to the side and I can begin working on it just like that. Super, super simple. And to do my planning for the week, all I have to do is click this new week button. And again, it will bring up some familiar things here. This is taking a while because my computer is recording and is doing a video and is recording my screen. So this gives me access to some different options. Again, still categorized with energy, work, and love. First of all, at the top here, you'll see a list of 23 or 25 names. I forget how many now. Those are part of my internal family system, my inner team. These are parts of me that I've identified, that I've done trauma healing work with to help face the shadow side of my being and my different parts so that I can work with myself in a healthy way. So that's just to help me remember and stay in connection with these parts of me. For energy, weekly, I do grocery shopping, obviously, as we all do. And then I've got some other spiritual practice that I can do, and I can add other things if I wish to. Then for work, I've got all the main things that I want to get done each week. And they're already listed. These are the repetitive things that I want to do every week. None of these things are absolutely mandatory, but if I have a really good week, they're all getting checked off. And I found this to be super, super motivating for me to see them there. I want to check them off. But if I had these in some other place that I don't check as often, I forget about them. This keeps them right in front of me. But I also maintain a healthy relationship with them so that I don't feel oppressed by them. I can choose to not check any of these off and I'll be okay for that week. It's not about checking all the boxes. It's about me not forgetting that I have the choice to check a box if I'm resourced enough to do so. So there's quite a bit of art to this as well. It's not just here it is, and so I check all those things off, otherwise I'm a bad person. There's a lot of depth to how this works and how I work with it. And then under love, I have my team, my internal family system. That's about this. Once a week, I will do very intentional work with a member of my team. And then I also have I belong to some online groups, and this other little symbol over here is just a reminder for that. And I can put other people or other things or other projects for my personal relationships here as well. And that's work. And so that literally takes me 5 minutes, just 5 minutes every week to complete. So that's my supportivity system. I hope that something in here was inspirational, maybe informative for you, helpful, supportive in some way. I would love to hear from you about what challenges you have with your supportivity system. If you want me to go deeper on anything that you saw, I'm happy to do that. And if you want support with your system, ask a question. Thank you so much for being here. May you experience in your supportivity system, in your business, and in your life more love, not less. Always. Bye for now.